Want to retire early? You're going to have to save more or spend less or both. And that's where frugal living and using some frugal living habits can come in. Let's talk about it. First, let's define frugal living, because when you hear the term frugal, when I hear the term frugal, I always think of some sort of cheapskate, and that's really not what it means. Frugal living isn't about being cheap. It's about being resourceful. It's finding ways to save money where you can and not being wasteful. And what that does is enable you to put your money, your focus on things that you really value. And in this case, we're talking about early retirement and trying to capture some time freedom through using some frugal living habits and frugal living techniques. First, we'll talk about just kind of some mindsets you can have, and then we'll get into some specific things you can do. One, you can take pleasure in the simple things. Rather than taking an expensive weekend trip, just go to a local state park and go hiking. Sit outside and read a book. Go shoot hoops at the local park. Grab some cheap pickleball rackets and go play pickleball with your friends or spouse, or pick up a new hobby like that. Taking pleasure in the simple things can save you a lot of money and actually be better for you in the long term. Focus on, when you do buy things or purchase things or pay for trips, focus on quality over quantity. And along that same lines, think about value over price. Just because it's a good deal doesn't mean it's a good value. Make sure you have a budget and you stick to it. And if you're not one to have a line by line, dollar for dollar, strict micromanaged budget, at least have the framework of a budget so you know where your money is going on a paycheck to paycheck and a month to month basis. Talk about saving for retirement. You've got to talk about investing and paying yourself first. Absolutely try to set up your investing and saving on an automatic process to take the human element out of it, so you can't just forget to do it 1 month or decide to do a little bit less 1 month because things are tight. Set up your savings to be on an automatic deduct if at all possible. Don't be wasteful. Make things last longer. If you have a paid off car, don't be tempted to go buy the newest and latest one. Make that thing last. Keep up the maintenance on it. If you do what we said earlier, buy quality. If you buy quality clothes and shoes and things like that, that stuff's going to last longer. Quality electronics, quality furniture, all of that stuff's going to last longer. And if you maintain it, you're not going to be wasteful with those items. And that goes all the way down to the stuff in your refrigerator. Don't be wasteful. Buy what you need. You know, we're all guilty of buying the same bag of salad that we throw out every 2 weeks. Try to cut that kind of stuff out, and that's going to save you money in the long term. Here's some specific things you can do to save money and live more frugally as you try to plan for retirement. Travel in the off season. We do that. We're empty nesters. If you can travel before Memorial Day or after Labor Day, the beach is still hot, the water's still blue, but there's less crowds and it's less expensive. You don't have to go in June or July to the hottest tourist destinations and spend premium prices when the off season's wide open for your empty nesters. And while I do love my grandchild and I loved my kids when they're kids, it's also nicer to go to those places when there's not a bunch of little kids running around. Let's be honest. When it is time to buy a new car, buy used. Buy low mileage used. You're going to save, even if it's a 1-year-old used car, you're likely to save up to 15-20% off the original sticker price. So let somebody else eat that depreciation and buy a used car. Check those subscriptions. I know you think saving a $10 subscription is no big deal, but many of us have 5, 6, 10, 12 little $5 and $10 subscriptions just ticking out of our bank accounts each month or onto our credit cards each month. And I think these subscription companies, they plan it that way. They make it so little, $9.99, $6.99, that you kind of forget it's even coming out. I know that there's gyms, giant gym chains that are based on that model. They want you to sign up for that little price and then forget about it, never even show up. So check your subscriptions, and if you can cancel 2 or 3, let's say you can cancel $50 worth of subscriptions a year, well, that's $600 you just put back into your retirement account. If you're gonna make a big purchase, try to use the 24-hour rule. Basically, that just means sleep on it. Don't make a knee-jerk purchase. Set a number. If it's over $1,000, $500, $100, whatever your threshold is, that is basically a amount of money that could impact your month-to-month spending and your savings goals. Before you spend that money, try to give it a 24-hour rule, or at least an overnight rule, to think about whether you need to spend that money. There are so many more habits that I could go into that could help you save money and live frugally. I'd like for you all to give me some in the comments. Let me know some of the things you do to save money and build that nest egg so you can have a big, bright retirement in your future. I look forward to reading those. I appreciate y'all, as always, for watching the video. If you enjoyed this, please hit the like and subscribe button down below. Doesn't cost you anything, but it means everything to me. Appreciate y'all.